Today I'm going to give away a free t-shirt, bring you a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, and reveal the books I bought this week. How y'all doing? I'm Victor, and you are watching a Comic Hero show. Now kick that intro!
One, two, three, four.
Welcome to this week's edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host, Victor Nolly, and I am the Comic Hero. This month is Adoption Awareness Month. Now I'm going to touch base on that later on, but for right now, it's time to give away a free t-shirt. On our last week's episode, I asked, which Spider-Man villain has pumpkin bombs as one of their weapons? Well, the correct answer is Green Goblin. And 6 people have answered correctly, and because they've answered correctly, their name's been entered in the drawing for a free tee. And that drawing takes place right now. So the winner of the free tee for this week's episode of the show is... Crystal Owen from Homer, Louisiana. So congratulations, Crystal. You each have a free Comic Hero tee. Alright, here's the question for next week's episode, and this is a DC question. Which superhero team from the far future was inspired by Superman? Was it A, Justice League of America, B, Legion of Superheroes, or C, the Doom Patrol? Alright, here's some hints to help. The first hint is that this superhero team is based in both the 30th and 31st centuries. And then the second hint, the founding members of this team are Saturn Girl, Lightning Lad, and Cosmic Boy. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free tee on next week's episode of the show. Alright, now April Hooks from Camden, Arkansas has requested a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, and this one features one of Batman's villains going up against a villain from the Disney universe. Representing DC, we have Poison Ivy, and representing Disney, we have She-Go. These two are going to duke it out in a segment I like to call...
The Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown.
Welcome to the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Today, it's Poison Ivy versus She-Go. Poison Ivy possesses manipulation of plants and toxins and is a skilled gymnast and hand-to-hand combatant. She-Go's primary powers are her ability to generate and project bright green energy blasts from her hands, which can be used for concussive force, to burn or melt objects, or for enhanced melee attacks. She also possesses superhuman durability, enhanced strength, and elite hand-to-hand combat skills. Who would win? Although these two are solid hand-to-hand combatants, there would hardly be any of it. She-Go wants to end this fight quickly and uses her energy blast. This doesn't come easy due to Poison Ivy's gymnast expertise. Becoming more and more frustrated by Poison Ivy's ducks and dodges, She-Go then uses her energy blast to channel her super strength. She then pounds the ground and causes a seismic shockwave that trips up Poison Ivy. She-Go then grabs Poison Ivy, delivers a massive headbutt, and attempts to use her energy blast to melt Poison Ivy's face. Just as Poison Ivy's skin becomes moist, she summons one of her plants to wrap around She-Go. However, She-Go breaks free from the plant's grasp and destroys them in the process. This enrages Poison Ivy. She summons a vine with poisonous thorns. Despite She-Go's enhanced strength, the poison would negate it and cause her to pass out. Poison Ivy wins, and that concludes this fight on the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Thank you, April Hooks, for that fight. I hope y'all enjoyed it, and I'll have another one on a future episode. Now, if y'all want to make some requests, y'all are more than welcome to do so. But remember, I have rules. The first rule is that there has to be at least one comic book or manga character involved. The second rule, not hint, The second rule is that comic book or manga character can go up against another comic book or manga character, a video game character, or a series-minded cartoon character like Optimus Prime, Voltron, Lion-O, anyone like that. And then my third rule, make sure your fight makes sense. It really wouldn't make a lot of sense for, Jonathan Kent to go up against maybe Odin. Although they would no, that wouldn't make sense, although they would probably share stories about their sons. All right, let's get to the comics I bought this week. Comic books I bought this week. All right, here we go. First up is Absolute Batman Annual 2025. Cloak or Dagger, #1. Expatriate X-Men, #1. Imperial, #4. Radiant Black, #38. Thor, #3. Thundercats, #20. Undeadpool, #1. And finally, X-Vengers, #1. All right, that's 9, which brings the total number of comics that I bought since December of 1997 to 14,129. All right, well, I hope y'all enjoyed this week's episode. And here's a question again for a free tee for next week's episode of the show. Which superhero team from the far future was inspired by Superman? Was it A, the Justice League of America, B, the Legion of Superheroes, or C, the Doom Patrol? All right, here's some hints to help. The first hint is that this superhero team is based in both the 30th and 31st centuries. And then the second hint, the founding members of this team are Saturn Girl, Lightning Lad, and Cosmic Boy. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free tee on next week's episode of the show. And congratulations to Crystal Owen from Homer, Louisiana, who won a free tee on this week's episode. All right, now this month is Adoption Awareness Month. And adoption is the permanent and legal transfer of parental rights from a child's biological parents to adoptive parents. It has complex and lifelong impacts on everyone involved, including the adopted person, their birth parents, and adopted parents. In some cases, children are also adopted as a result of being orphans or being in foster care. Adoption provides an opportunity to connect children with permanent families and maintain connections to their birth family, culture, and community. Now, adoption is more than just a process. It's a journey. And I personally know some folks that were adopted, and I personally know some folks that chose the path of adoption. And if you're watching this and you were either adopted or you have adopted, I love y'all, and this episode is for y'all. And this is an Adoption Awareness Comic Hero tee. If you would like one, you can find them on IamTheComicHero.com/shop for $17, and I will donate half of each purchase to the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption. All right, here's the roadhead for the show. On next week's episode 543, I'm celebrating Veterans Day. Then on episode 544, I'm raising awareness of diabetes. On episode 545, I'm raising awareness of lung cancer. Then on episode 546, I'm celebrating Christmas. Now, on episode 546, I'm just going to celebrate Christmas. But every other episode throughout the month, I'm going to do, and I started doing this last year. I'm going to do a Christmas / college football playoff mashup episode. Well, episodes rather. and I started doing this last year, and this season is looking real close. I mean, there are some schools that I rep last year, and there are some that I didn't rep last year. But as soon as the regular season ends and it's winding down, there's only a few weeks left in the regular season, I will let y'all know on which schools I'm going to rep in those episodes. And this is the last time I'm going to say it, but meet me this Saturday at the West Monroe Convention Center. It's the site of the 2nd annual Louisiana Delta Comic Con. I'm going to be a guest there. Joseph Poliquin from Five Nights at Freddy's is going to be a guest there. For all you wrestling fans, the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart is going to be there. John Stout from Kettle Briar Workshop. He's the owner and founder of Kettle Briar Workshop. Then Jordan, well, he'll be there. Then Jordan and Justice from J&J Cosplays will be there. A fan favorite vendor from, and especially in North Louisiana, well, really throughout the entire state, Man-Made Soaps will be there, and then several others. So, and I hope to see some of y'all there. And also, I just want to go ahead and say this, but if you plan on coming and you have a Comic Hero tee, wear it. Please, sir, please, ma'am. Yeah, but don't just support me, support the con as a whole. I mean, I'm not the only person there. There's going to be other guests and some great vendors. So as Loretta Lynn used to say, y'all come. All right, if you're watching this for the first time on YouTube, welcome. And as soon as you're done, hit subscribe. If you're watching this on the Comic Book Lovers Facebook page, welcome. And as soon as you're done, go on YouTube and hit subscribe. And if you're watching this on the Louisiana Delta Content Creators Facebook page, welcome. And as soon as you're done, go on YouTube and hit subscribe. All right, I'm Victor Nolly on the Comic Hero. I'll see you next week for episode 543, and I'll see some of y'all this weekend over at the 2nd annual Louisiana Delta Comic Con in West Monroe, Louisiana. So until then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero.
Yeah.